Hey guys, Hunter Riley at rangehot.com. Hope everybody's doing well. This evening I'm finally getting to wrapping up the review on the SIG 1911 dedicated CO2 powered BB gun. That's right, this is a BB gun. If you look back, it was about a year or so ago and I reviewed a couple of the SIG pellet guns. Now, I'm taking my time with this and I put about 1,000 BBs downrange. And now let's go over what I've learned over the past couple months of myself, and several of my friends running the gun. The way this thing basically works is you take this left stock off and then it'll expose a cavity, and what you would know is your mainspring housing kind of just comes out and creates a lever. You drop the CO2 canister in there, that locks it in, punctures it, and this clips over that CO2 canister and you are good to go. Now you're gonna get about 4 magazines worth of BBs through it with one canister, and each magazine holds 16 BBs, so you do the math. Toward the end of that 4th magazine, at the beginning of the 5th, depending on how rapid fire you go, you're going to start need to think about changing that CO2 canister. Now, while you're running the gun, the slide is reciprocating. How cool is that? Now, it's not like shooting a centerfire gun, I get that, but it does reciprocate enough to where it's disturbing that sight picture, where you have to reacquire the front and rear sight, side alignment sight picture, that sort of thing. So I thought that's pretty cool. But also, check it out, and put the magazine in, it's empty. When the magazine runs dry, it does lock the slide to the rear. And that's an indication, hey, gun's empty, more BBs please. We've had a lot of fun with this thing. You know, we've loaded it up, sat out here and actually did some serious training with it. You know, shooting some paper targets, some steel targets, maybe some Coke cans, as well as, you know, just playing with the thing. It's a lot of fun, but recognize with a fresh CO2 can in it, it easily goes through a paper target and a couple pieces of cardboard, clean through. So though this is a BB gun, it's not a toy, and I would apply all of the 4 basic rules of gun safety to this, just like a standard firearm, so keep that in mind. Though it's a lot of fun, it is still not a toy. But it does make training a little easier. I mean, you can get out here and run the gun. It does have a 1913 style Picatinny accessory rail on it, so you could add what kind of lights or lasers that you're running on your gun to this to simulate that training. But where this really shined is added the Mantis X training system, which monitors firearm movement while you're running the gun, and it connects to your cell phone via Bluetooth. Now that was pretty cool. Now I'm wrapping up the review on the Mantis X, so if you're a little bit more curious about what that's all about, I'll have that done here in the next couple days. But it's actually a really cool training system, and it really works very well with this, because, you know, I could basically just set this up out in the front yard with a backstop and some paper targets or a little steel target or whatever, and get in some pretty good training time. It was inexpensive, and you don't have the report of that centerfire handgun or even rimfire handgun, so you could do it and not disturb your neighbors so bad. So starting at the top, it does have some pretty nice 3-dot sights. Moving around here to the bottom, I've already talked about the accessory rail. Coming out here to the trigger, not a bad trigger. It's a BB gun, so you do have some take up. It's a little squishy. Is it like a BB gun trigger? And it's breaking about 6.5 pounds, which is still not that bad. It does have a magazine release where you would expect it to be, and that functions. The front strap is checkered. The rear, what you would call the mainspring housing, is also checkered. It does have a grip safety that actuates and works, as well as the thumb safety. As far as a pretty good replica of a SIG 1911, yeah, we're there. I mean, weight-wise, it weighs in at 2.6 pounds, so it does have a little bit of heft to it. Msrp on this pistol is $110. So it's not cheap, but it's certainly not that expensive. A nice BB gun, regardless of what you get, is going to run you over $100. So that's really about it. I mean, after 1,000 BBs, it didn't have any trouble. You know, we stood off at 25 feet, shot some targets, got some pretty decent, what I would call, groups for, you know, some offhand rapid fire. So that was a lot of fun, and that's about it. If you're looking for something to maybe help with your training that you'd like to be able to do maybe in your backyard where you couldn't maybe shoot a centerfire handgun, but you wanted to train, this is definitely a viable option. Certainly a whole lot less expensive than shooting, as well as you can get away with it in a little bit different places than you could running a centerfire gun. But still, there are a lot of laws that apply to this, so make sure that whatever you're doing, you're abiding by whatever they're telling you you're supposed to. You know how that goes. So if you got any questions or comments, there's going to be an article on rangehot.com as always, with a lot more of the technical specifications and details on this. This is just basically, as always, the video overview. So if you got any more questions, jump over to rangehot.com. You know, feel free to shoot me an email. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Pinterest, the whole social media gamut. Let me know what you think, good, bad, right, or wrong. So as always, I appreciate you reading the articles. Thank you for watching the video. I appreciate all the feedback, good and bad. Take care of yourselves, and I look forward to seeing you at the range.